Old school 4-4-2 or?
I've got to do, because that was my...
Yeah.
I played that all throughout my career. Probably played most of it as a manager as well.
Every player knows their job, don't they?
Two centre forwards know they're getting in then as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll start off with a goalie.
Packy Bonner was the best keeper I played with.
What was his strengths?
Top goalie, I have to say, had you had to use your feet, if he'd have been in that era, he would have struggled.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And strangely enough, a really sane, sensible goalkeeper who didn't do anything bonkers.
Which is unusual.
Yeah, came for the odd cross when they should have left it and let us head it, but other than that, he was tops, and a really top bloke.
Right back?
The guy who could play anywhere, and people will see bonkers playing him there, he had one game at full-back that I can remember, and he stood out like a sore thumb. That was Paul McGrath.
Oh, really? So you'd put him at right back?
Well, I played him
I'm
anyway.
going to be interested to see your centre-halves, because
yeah,
he's an absolute legend at Aston Villa. I mean, what a centre-half.
I know. Well, he didn't play at centre-half when I played. It was me and Kevin Moran that played at centre-back. He never played there. And I think, I'm not even certain I ever played with him at centre-back. And thank goodness he didn't, because if he had, I would never have played. So it was good old Big Jack, you know. He played him in the centre midfield.
And centre-halves?
Well, my buddy Kevin Moran's got to play there. I had 57 caps with Ireland, most of them playing with Kevin, and I played with Mark Lawrenson, so it's a big shout, by the way.
He looked hard.
He is hard. Yeah, well, he's beyond 50, so maybe he was hard like the rest of us.
But I remember playing against you many years ago. I just scored on my debut. We played Man City away on the following week, and I just scored, just got in the team, all great. I kicked off, and I remember running up front, and you went bang, and you hit me straight on the jaw, and you went, "Don't come near me, son, or I'll snap you in half." And I was like, did anybody say that? And I thought, that's it, and I never went near you again.
Are you sure that's not a case of mistaken identity?
No.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
It stuck in my head from day one. I thought, that's it, I'll never go near him again.
Because I've got a bit of balance. I've got a left footer playing at the left side of centre-back, that's Norman Hunter.
Really? You played with Norman Hunter?
I played with Norman at Barnsley, yeah, and of course I'd watched him at Leeds for years. I was a Leeds fan as a kid, and I just idolised him. And then for him to turn up, me to be playing with him was just, it was the best.
And what was that like, playing like with one of your heroes?
I realised how ordinary I was, actually. Which is a bit of a shock. How old would I have been? I'd only been about 19, 20. We didn't play that many times together, but even in training, he was the best footballer of them all.
Yeah?
And talk about tough and tackling.
Yeah.
And his timing of his tackles, he was fabulous.
And who would you go as your left back? Because this is starting to become a very, very good back four.
Well, I'd like to think so, yeah. Chris Hughton.
Yeah?
Chris was brilliant.
Was he a good player?
Oh, he was outstanding, yeah. And he's right-footed. Well, I think he is. played left back all his career for Tottenham. I remember playing against Holland, and I'm playing against Ruud Gullit. And honestly, I didn't think I was ever going to get a kick. And he often goes and plays against Chris. And Chris never gave him a kick. So you can stay out there, pal. Don't come back in here, whatever you do.
And then we go to right-hand side of the midfield.
Ray Houghton was miles better than anybody else I ever played with as a right side of midfield player, right winger. He was outstanding, and the graft he put in. And by the way, he didn't let you get away with anything either. He wasn't this little winger down outside.
Oh, really?
Oh no, he got plenty to say for himself. And the goals he scored, of course, for the Republic of Ireland. Scored a winner against England in Gelsenkirchen.
We're not talking about that.
Oh, we are, baby. You mentioned you scored on your debut, was it against me? So.
And then centre midfield?
Andy Townsend was...
Well, I played in the same team as him as well. He's my captain at middle.
Well, you'll know all about him. I mean, he was... And I think he's a better footballer than... Because he got bundles of energy, he could get box to box, he could head it, he could tackle. Alongside him, right-footed player was Paul McStay.
People who didn't know him, and I didn't really see a lot of it. What kind of player would he compare to in this day and age?
I remember going back to... I went back to Millwall after I'd come back from Lyon, and I was sort of 12 months just after having played with Celtic. And somebody told me not to roll any balls into midfield. Don't roll any balls into midfield. I'd been playing with McStay for 2 years. You could give him it anywhere. If you didn't give it to him, if you hit it past him, you'd be getting... So he'd come and fetch it and carry it. but he'd also get up the pitch and score goals. I think he just had a bit of everything. Let me tell you, if he'd have been Steven Gerrard in our team, and that's some praise for him, he was every bit as effective as Steven Gerrard in our Celtic team.
And then a left winger.
The one stand out above them all, and it was Kevin Sheedy. Sheeds was just brilliant.
He had one of the sweetest left foots I think I've ever seen in football. Him and Graham Ricks, their left foots could open the can.
And it's one of those that I had the pleasure of playing with him, and I had the dubious pleasure of playing against him when him and Sharpie were playing. And it didn't matter if he got round the back of your full-back and stuck a cross in, he'd put it on Sharpie's head. Yeah. If you stood off him and let it cross across your front of you, he'd stick it on Sharpie's head. Even in training, in the training, you know, you're picking teams.
Yeah.
He'd be one of the first I'd pick.
Oh, brilliant. And then the two up front.
Big Kaz was great with us, and Quinny was great. John Aldridge was great playing there. The guys I played with, and the first one, because I'll let you have a guess at the last one. You just give any clue that I even played with him. The first one would be Frank Stapleton. I roomed with him for about 4 years. I was like his personal servant for 4 years. Yeah, just answered the phone for him and made tea because he was the Man United number 9 and Ireland number 9.
Anybody would buy Frank in this day and age.
Without
It'd be
a
an
doubt.
absolute dream, especially with teams playing one up front.
You know, me playing with him, would I like to have somebody like him now in any team? Absolutely.
You want me to guess what your last player is?
Go on, because you've had a look.
I see the list of all the players, and I didn't know you played with this man, so I'm going to go with Sniffer Clark.
Wrong. No, you're right.
I was going to say I blame my dad then, because my dad always talked about him. My dad said he couldn't believe what a player he was. When I watched videos of him, he looked 7 stone wet through, and my dad said he was as hard as nails.
We used to train the morning of a game, and I went to tackle him, and he left one on me, and I was complaining. He said, "That'll teach you." There was no apology. I thought, yeah, well, I like that, actually. I didn't at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he could look after himself. But finishing, what stood out above anything else was how he scored goals. He used to pass it in the net, and it stuck with me forever and ever and ever, where you see people lashing at it, trying to get the laces on it. And it was an eye-opener to me as a young player, playing in the 4th division, and then watching the centre forward of his craft and class was, well, it was masterclass stuff.
Oh, brilliant. What a team. What a team.
Well, I hope so. We'll never see it play, unfortunately.
No, but it was a good team, and I really appreciate it.
Cheers, mate.
And for the rest of the season,
great to see
I really
you, pal.
do.
Thanks,
mate.
Enjoy Sky.